Well, in this week, there was no big upsets per se, and we get a more clearer picture as the season draws on and we get closer to Ina. With all that being said, we got 10 games to cover. Let's go ahead and jump into the first game, Kaskaskia versus Logan. And Logan goes into Centralia and comes away with a big win as the Vols bounce back from a tough week last week, winning 77-63. Logan was led by Jordan Logan, who had 18 points and 9 rebounds while netting 3 threes as he shot 6 of 11 from the floor. Elliot Londis added 7 block shots to go along with 7 field goals and 6 rebounds, and he finished with 15. Alfred Worrell added 6 rebounds and was 5 of 10 off the bench, finishing with 11. For the Blue Devils, they were led by Caleb Jenkins and Kamari Slaughter. Each of them had 18 points. Jenkins did it while grabbing 9 rebounds and was 6 of 8 from the foul line. Slaughter was 7 of 10 from the field as Isaiah Tolbert led the team in assists and grabbed 7 rebounds as well. Bench play was big in the win for Logan as they outscored the Blue Devils of Kaskaskia 25-6. And if Logan's going to claw their way back into being competitive in this district and possibly win it, bench play is going to be huge for them. And Wednesday night proved it against Kaskaskia. I thought the Lakers would have been able to build on their win at Logan with a home win against the Saints of Shawnee. I was wrong, and Coach Sparks, I apologize for that. Shawnee handled business, winning 89-55. Johnny Anderson led the way for the Saints with 20 off of an 8 for 12 shooting night and having 5 assists. Osiris Marr had a double-double with 17 points and 10 rebounds. He also led the Saints in assists with 6 while shooting 7 of 12 on the game. Ladricus Pittman hit 4 threes and 5 field goals overall, and he had 16 in the win at Mattoon. The Lakers were led by Ahmad Roberts, who had 14 while shooting 5 of 7 from the field and hitting 4 from behind the arc. The other Laker in double figures was Sean Dekonovich, who had 12 and 5 rebounds as well, but he was 5 of 15 from the field. Shawnee only turned the ball over 5 times while forcing 17 turnovers and only committing 12 fouls overall. The Lakers, however, were able to also only commit 10 fouls in the game, so really that turnover battle was proven enough for the Saints to pull out with the big-time win. Again, on the road is very tough to win in this district, and Shawnee was able to pull it out here. Olney is coming off one of their biggest wins of the year against Vincennes, and they take on the Warriors of Rend Lake, who is looking to get their first win of the year. OCC wins a close one in the dungeon, 79-76, and had 5 blue knights in double figures. Leading the way was Demarion Walkup, who had 16 points and had 9 assists with 7 rebounds while shooting 5 of 11 from the field. JT Thomas also had 7 rebounds and 12 points, going 6 of 7 from the field. Tucker Blandford was 6 of 10 from the field, adding another 12 points and having 6 rebounds as well. Jacoby Thomas was another OCC player who finished with 12 points. He came off the bench and hit 2 big-time 3. Delashawn Sims added 11 points and had 4 assists. Rend Lake had 3 players in double figures this time, led by Justin King, who was 9 of 17 from the field and having 6 rebounds and 3 assists, scoring 22 points. Keith Robinson was 7 of 12 and was 5 of 8 from 3, grabbing 10 rebounds. Finally, Reese Johnson had 12 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals, but it wasn't enough for the Warriors, as again, I say they fall in the dungeon to Olney. But the fact that this game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be says big things for the Warriors of Rend Lake. Speaking of the team that Olney beat by 1, Vincennes bounces back after losing to Olney and dropping 5 spots in the polls with a big-time win against Lincoln Trail, 88-55. Only one Statesman was in double figures in this game, and that was Marlon Bennett, who had 13 points off of a 6 of 13 shooting night, and he had 3 rebounds. Shea Aloye was 3 of 4 from the floor and had 9 points, while Caden Huntenlocker had 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 block shots. Jordan Moore led the way for the Statesmen in the rebound department, having 6. Vincennes was led by Chris King, who had 19 points, hitting 3 threes, and going 6 of 8 from the line, and had 5 rebounds. Ryan Oliver continues to be big for the Blazers late in the season as he hit 4 big threes in the game, having 7 rebounds and 5 assists. Again, all off the bench for Ryan Oliver. LeBron Thomas had 13 points off of a 5 of 8 shooting night and having 5 of 6. Kyrie Dixon was 5 of 7 from the floor and ripped 8 rebounds, finishing with 11. Michael Osei-Bonsu was off the bench again, having 10 points, 10 rebounds, with 8 of those rebounds being offensive rebounds. In this game, Vincennes only had 4 turnovers and forced 16 and dominated the rebounding battle 47-26. That is why they were able to pull out a big 30-plus point win against Lincoln Trail, who unfortunately is just having one of those rough seasons. Wabash Valley defended home floor against SWIC, winning 99-89. Nazir Leonard dropped 40 points, had 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and was 13 of 23 from the floor, 10 of 15 from the foul line, and that was coming all off the bench for the Blue Storm. Nazub Meckham was 4 of 7 from the floor, had 4 rebounds and 4 assists, while Jacoby Huddleston was 5 of 8 and grabbed 4 rebounds as well. Saxon Hopker had 5 rebounds as he, Meckham, and Huddleston all had 10 points. But again, it was Wabash Valley's night as Muja Burton and Daniel Robinson had 20 points each. Robinson was 7 of 10 from the field and had 5 rebounds and was 4 of 5 from the foul line. Burton off the bench was 7 of 9 and was 4 of 6 from 3 and had 4 rebounds. Brandon Razor Moore had another phenomenal game as he had 7 rebounds and 5 assists while going 5 of 13 from the field. He finished with 18 points. Lucas Henderson was 4 of 8 from the field and 6 of 7 from the foul line, while Kaleem Taylor had 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Oh, and he also had 3 steals. Wabash Valley was 25 of 31 from the foul line as SWIC was 15 of 30. That was your big difference. Wabash Valley's ability to hit key free throws and SWIC's inability to hit so was the big difference here. Again, only a 10-point game. The Warriors were 10 of 24 from behind three-point land, and the Blue Storm were only 6 of 16. Again, big difference there. I was surprised that this was a 10-point game, just going off of Wabash Valley able to hit their big threes and being able to hit their free throws, while SWIC's inability to do both. But that's what it is in the GRAC and in district play. It is a tough, nail-biting game, and this game was the epitome of it. Going into Saturday, 3 teams were tied for first place in the district at 5-1, and Vincennes and Wabash Valley were 2 of those teams, so the battle of the PE complex was supposed to be a good one. However, Vincennes dominated in the second half and won handily 80-62. The Warriors had 3 players in double figures, led by Kaleem Taylor, who had 19 points off of a 6 of 10 shooting night and was 6 of 6 from the stripe. Daniel Robinson had 5 assists, 4 steals, and 3 rebounds, adding 11 points. Brandon Razor Moore had a rough shooting night, only going 4 of 13 from the field and 0 of 5 from deep, but did grab 7 rebounds and have 2 steals. Victor Lato was 7 of 10 from the floor and led the Blazers with 17 points and had 6 rebounds. Chris King added 7 assists, 7 rebounds, hit 3 threes, and finished with 12 points, while Kyrie Dixon had 6 rebounds, was 5 of 7 from the field, and had 10. LeBron Thomas showed that he is a freshman in this one, only having 9 points, but led the team in assists, and Michael Osei-Bonsu also had 9 points, 9 rebounds, 8 of those were offensive. So LeBron is going to be better. He's played well this entire season. I'm surprised that we're only seeing his first freshman game now. And Michael Osei-Bonsu having 9 points, 9 rebounds. That's just status quo for him. So Vincennes wins a big one. And the other team going into Saturday at 5-1 in district play was Olney Central. And they extend their winning streak to 6 with an 81-72 win in Belleville over SWIC. Demarion Walkup netted 3 threes and was 6 of 12 from the field. He finished with 20 points. Jacoby Thomas was 6 of 7 from the field and 6 of 9 from the foul line, and he also had 7 rebounds and 4 assists, finishing with 19. Delshawn Sims had 5 assists, 3 steals, going 5 of 11 from the floor. He finished with 17. And again, this was in Belleville. SWIC had 4 players that led them in their game against the Blue Knights, led by Nazub Meckham, who was 7 of 13 from the floor and grabbed 5 rebounds, finishing with 18 points. Dallas Rufus was 6 of 12, having 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block, finishing with 13 points, while Nazir Leonard, once again, was a high scorer. He was 5 of 12 from the field, grabbed 3 rebounds. He finished with 12, but it wasn't enough as SWIC loses on their home floor to Olney Central. The Vols traveled the 47 minutes down Illinois 37 and beat the Saints in Ulen 74-61. Logan had 4 players in double figures and was led by Alfred Worrell, who had 4 rebounds, was 6 of 7 from the foul line as he finished with 14 points. Jordan Logan was 5 of 7 from the field, had 7 rebounds, and had 2 steals. He finished with 12. Caden Hawkins was 3 of 5 from 3 and had 3 assists, finishing with 11 points. Isaac James had 8 of his 10 rebounds on the defensive side, and he also had 10 points, netting him another double-double. Johnny Anderson led the way for the Saints as he had a game-high 23 points, 3 rebounds off of an 8 of 17 shooting night. Ladricus Pittman was 7 of 8 from the stripe and had 6 assists. He finished with 19. And that was no other Saints in double figures, as no other Saints in general scored no more than 6 points. And as a team, they only hit 34% of their shots from the floor on their home floor. And that is how Logan was able to win this game by 13 points. Lionel Hodges led a Kaskaskia team escape against Rend Lake, winning 73-69, while he scored all of his 19 points in the second half. Caleb Jenkins scored 11 of his 13 points in the first half, while Kobe Wilmont also scored 10 points, all in the first half, while on the other end, Rend Lake was led by Justin King, having another good game, 16 points off of a 6 of 13 shooting performance that had 5 of his 6 rebounds being defensive and also having 3 assists. Keith Robinson was 6 of 14 from the field, had 9 rebounds with 2 assists and a steal, while Dre Scott was 5 of 8 from the floor, had 6 rebounds, and Mason Ribble had 10 points and 2 rebounds for Rend Lake. Again, the Warriors of Rend Lake just running into a tough opponent and not being able to pick up a GRAC win. Kaskaskia improves. They don't move up in district play, but they are moving up in GRAC play. Lincoln Trail had 6 different players in double figures, but it still wasn't enough as they fell at home to Lakeland, losing 91-85. Gabe Amorgi and Caden Huntlocker both had 15 points. Amorgi was 6 of 7 from the field, had 11 rebounds, while Huntlocker was 6 of 6 from the foul line and had 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Devin Bell had 3 threes and was 5 of 6 from the line. He added 14 points for the Statesmen. Marlon Bennett and Jamaris McCray had 13 points. Bennett doing it off of a 5 of 10 shooting performance from the floor and adding 3 assists, while McCray was 6 of 7 from the field and having 4 rebounds. The last Statesman in double figures was Ollie Offord, and he too hit 3 threes and adding 6 assists and having 2 steals. He finished with 12 points. But like I said, even that type of performance wasn't enough as the Lakers was led by Sean Dekonovich, who was 12 of 18 from the floor, grabbing 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. He finished with a game-high 29 points. Tyler Chapman was 7 of 12 from the field, and he led the Lakers in assists with 8, and he had 5 rebounds. He finished with 18 points. Johnny Jones had 13 points, hitting 4 threes and having a steal. Diari Duncan scored 12 points off of a 6 of 10 night at the foul line and 3 of 4 from the field, grabbing 3 offensive rebounds. Samuel Hinnekeby scored 10 points off of a 4 for 6 shooting night and grabbed 3 rebounds for the Lakers. And again, it was enough as this was an up and down affair in Robinson, and unfortunately for the Statesmen, they still can't pick up a district win. Well, as we get ready to start the turnaround and the second time these teams will face each other in district play, the standings look like this. Olney Central leads it at 6-1, 15-4 overall. Vincennes is 6-1, 19-2 overall. But again, Olney Central has that head-to-head victory. Wabash Valley 5-2, 11-4 overall. John A. Logan is 5-3, 10-10 overall. Kaskaskia 3-4, 15-4 overall. Lakeland 3-4, 13-7 overall. Shawnee 2-5, 10-8 overall. SWIC 2-5, 9-10 overall. And Lincoln Trail, unfortunately, 0-7, 5-13 overall. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the games this week. There's only 9 of them, as again, because of this odd numbering of opponents in the district this year. Teams going to be able to sit out, or in the teams that are in the GRAC case, face Rend Lake. So let's go ahead and jump into the previews. And the first game that we're going to cover is the Wednesday matchup of Shawnee Logan versus Rend Lake. And I think this is, unfortunately for the Warriors of Rend Lake, is going to be exactly like it was in Ina. And I think Shawnee is going to absolutely steamroll them. Now, is it possible that Rend Lake is able to play a lot better, especially off this quick turnaround? Yeah, sure it is. But they're going to have to get more than just Justin King involved in this. They've been able to do well last week. Are they going to be able to do it this week? I don't think so. I think Shawnee is going to win this one huge, and it's not going to be a fun night for Warriors of Rend Lake fans. Shawnee and Lincoln Trail are going to be this next game, and honestly, it could be a toss-up. Shawnee could win this game by 20. Who knows with the Saints this year? And for the Statesmen, you just came off of your best performance on the season. You're going to have to continue to do that if you want to pull out and shock some people in this district. 6 different players. Again, Gabe Amorgi and Caden Huntlocker led the way. Amorgi played well against Vincennes. Huntlocker, not so much. For Shawnee, it's going to be all about being able to bounce back after a tough home loss to Logan. Are you going to be able to do that? If so, you have a very high chance of beating Lincoln Trail. But who's going to say it's going to be a fun game, going to be an interesting game, but it all determines on what Saints team shows up and if Lincoln Trail is going to be able to get that kind of output that they did against Lakeland, against Shawnee. And I just went over the district records, so this puts 6-1 Olney Central against 5-2 Wabash Valley. Both teams are 6-1 in the GRAC. That really doesn't matter when it comes to district. I just thought that's a little fun fact to put out there. Both teams are 6-1. Both these teams are evenly matched. It's going to be about who can control the tempo more. Wabash Valley seems like they like to push the ball, and they like to get out there and play with a lead. If they're playing from behind, they're going to struggle a little bit. I saw that in their game against Kaskaskia. I saw that they were able to right the ship against SWIC on Wednesday night, not able to do it Saturday against Vincennes. So it all determines if Wabash is going to be able to do that, or is Coach Levina going to be able to keep his team in the game for 44 minutes and going to be able to pull out a big win. If they are able to, I think Olney Central is going to control this game and win by 10. If not, it's going to come down to the last second shot. Kaskaskia has another big game at their home place as Vincennes comes into town. Vincennes goes up 2 slots to number 6 this week, and Vincennes in the past has had problems in Centralia as they had in Belleville. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Coach Franklin is going to be able to get his team ready to go. It's a little bit longer of a trip than Olney is. Not quite as long as Belleville, but are they going to be able to continue to have success on the road and going to be able to put their shooting performance on the map? Or is LeBron Thomas going to continue to slide, and Michael Osei-Bonsu slide a little bit and allow Kaskaskia to come out and beat teams on their home floor that they have beaten, like Shawnee, like Olney, and that is going to be the big one. Olney lost to Kaskaskia on this floor. Can Vincennes beat Kaskaskia? I think so, but I think it's going to be a close game. Coach Hancock, Coach Franklin, both amazing coaches. Going to be a tough one in Centralia. It's going to be worth the price of admission. And the last game on this slate of Wednesday games is going to be SWIC against Lakeland in Belleville. Is Lakeland going to be able to control their tempo like they were against Lincoln Trail? And is Dekonovich going to be able to have that same output that he had against the Statesmen against SWIC? I don't think so. I think SWIC is going to be able to pick up a win here. Coach Harrington is just going to be able to slow this game down, being able to control the pace of play like he likes to do. It's going to be a very gritty defensive battle, and if it's a defensive battle, that favors SWIC over Lakeland. Lakeland likes to run and gun, shoot the ball, and either make their shots or miss their shots. They're going to get their shots up. SWIC is going to play a lot like Vincennes did. So if that's the case, SWIC is going to win this game big. If they decide to try to play with Lakeland, it's going to be an interesting game, and I think that tips into the Lakers' favor. Like I said, only 9 games this week. Vincennes is idle on Saturday, but a big matchup is John A. versus SWIC. The first game in this turnaround, first time John A. took on SWIC, they won in Belleville. I think they're going to be able to hold home service here and be able to win this game. Again, John A. is starting to play like John A. has the last 3 or 4 years under both Coach Kyle Smith-Peters and Coach Tyler Smith-Peters last year. And I think it's just going to be the John A. kids are going to buy in a little bit more. It's the second time you're seeing an opponent, so who knows what that really says going into the ball game. I think that fact that John A. was able to win in Belleville is going to be huge. They know how Coach Harrington likes to play, and I think that's going to be big going into this ball game. I have John A. winning this by 5. The second game I'm going to cover from Saturday is going to put Shawnee against Wabash Valley in Olin. I think this favors the Saints a little bit better than the game in Mount Carmel did. That was Wabash's first game in district play under their new head coach, and I think this is going to be a Shawnee win. I think the Saints are going to be able to push their tempo. They're going to be able to control the ball a little bit better at home than they were at Mount Carmel. And for Wabash Valley, I think it's going to be just tough because you're coming off of a difficult road battle against Olney and a quick turnaround against Shawnee. I just think that this is where the cancellation in games, I think, catches up to the Warriors, and I think the Saints kind of take control. Yes, Wabash is playing very well, 5-2 going into this week. I just think that this bites them a little bit, and I think the Saints pull out a close 2-point win at home. Oh boy. Now we get into a game that I think that everybody and their mother is going to say is going to be a bloodbath. And unfortunately for the Statesmen, it's not going to be in your favor as they host Olney Central. The first game of this matchup, Olney Central won by 21 points, 79-58. It was a close game going into the half before the Blue Knights were able to take control. I think they're going to be able to take control from tip and extend their winning streak to 8 games. I think this is going to be a very long night for Statesman fan, unfortunately. And I think this is just going to be one of these games where you look at the tape, you're going to look at the stats, and it's going to be Olney, Olney, Olney all night long. And the final game I'm going to cover Saturday is going to be Lakeland against Kaskaskia. This is going to be a very, very good game. The game in Centralia went 79-77 in favor of the Lakers. I see this being 79-77 in favor of the Blue Devils. Unfortunately for the Lakers, I think that they are going to fall again. I think just the fact that Kaskaskia is going to come off of my prediction, loss to Vincennes. They're going to want to get revenge from the game on December 13th. I think Coach Hancock's going to have this team ready to play, and I think this team is going to play well. And unfortunately for you, Laker fans, it's going to be at your expense. I think this is going to be a close game. Like I said, I think it's going to be a 2-point game, just in the other direction for the Blue Devils. And just for poetic's sake, 79-77, Kaskaskia. That's going to do it for this week's episode, and again, I love the fact that I am able to shine a light on the Central District. This week was a little bit more conventional on the teams I thought were going to win, and the fact that This is a 3-team race for the number 1 seed at the moment, but you can't look past John A., who is only a game and a half back. It's going to be a fun second half of district play coming around the bend, and with 9 games this week, 8 district games, it is going to be a fun time. Again, this week's episode was fun. Next week, I have a special guest, coach from Wabash Valley, Terrence McGee, is going to stop in. We're going to talk shop. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to enjoy it. I want to thank Coach McGee in advance for taking time out of his very busy schedule, especially as he gets ready to play against Shawnee at the time. It's going to be a fun week, but I am going to say I will see you all in the next one.